I'm so obsessed with Paris. I'm like Paris' biggest fan. When I was 16, I came for the first time and I said to my mom, I was with her at the time and I was like, I'm gonna move here in 2 years. The most French thing about me might be that if there's a wait that's longer than 4 minutes for the metro, it's the end of the world. Yeah, one time I had a job interview and I did la Bise because I didn't know that you weren't meant to. And it was so embarrassing. I was like, oh, it was
Well, you probably liked it.
Yeah,
But
I didn't get the job. I can't even
NVM.
say it, yeah.
Okay,
And
what
it's
would that
like
mean in
super-
French?
I don't want to say it, it's inappropriate.
Okay.
It's like terrible.
Cheese board or scone with clotted cream?
Scone with cream. Scone with cream.
Are you rather Carette or le Café de Flore? Well, hello Mimi.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Well, you've done you've gone a long way. It's like you all across the city of Paris.
I've been all over.
Well, I have to start this conversation asking you because I couldn't help to notice under your nick handle on TikTok. There's like you're the British Emily in Paris. So why is that? Why the British Emily in Paris?
Well, that was never the goal, honestly. But when I started sharing about my journey on social media that I was working in marketing and, I was like a British girl, but like spoke French at the office and everything and like worked with only French people, Newsweek got in contact with me. Sorry, I touched it. Newsweek got in contact with me and were like, can we write an article about you as like the British Emily in Paris? And I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if like I'm really that much Emily in Paris, but that's really cool. Like I've never done a feature before, so I'll just do it. And then as I was like telling them the story of like how I came to Paris and like what happened and everything, then I was kind of like, oh, like maybe it is a little bit Emily in Paris vibes. So then I just kind of started leaning into it a little bit and people seem to like it, so.
And why would the British Emily in Paris do different compared to the US?
I have to say British Emily in Paris may be better.
Just the pronunciation of better. There's a T there.
There's the T. She pronounces the T. But yeah, well, I'm from like Birmingham, so Birmingham, UK.
Okay.
So, British Emily in Paris. I've been to America probably like 2 times.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I kind of like to stress that British Emily in Paris because otherwise I don't know, there's a lot of people that already think I'm American online. So represent the Brits, I say.
That's good. Yeah, no, you're right. You also say something which honestly made me giggle. I like that. You say like to move in another country, you have to be a bit delusional, to quote you. So first, why is that? And then so can you expand on that?
Well, I reclaimed the word delusional. Like Delulu is the Salulu, like you have to be a little bit crazy because when I moved, I just turned 19, like it was the week where I turned 19. And then I just moved into my little 10-meter squared basement apartment and there was like mice there and like I didn't have a job yet and like I had my little student loan which was like 2,000 euros, which is obviously like probably 2 months rent, not even. And it was just a little bit crazy. And I kind of decided that I was going to move to Paris in August and then I moved in September. So it was very quick and very crazy and my entire family were like, are you okay?
Was that pre or post-Brexit?
This was post-Brexit, so it was...
On top of, so even harder, yeah.
Yeah, so the people that came I went to a British university, so the people that came the year before me to start their studies there were given a 5-year residence permit, whereas I came the year after Brexit, all kind of went through and got confirmed. And then I had to get the 1-year TLS visa and then get the carte de séjour and then get another carte de séjour. And it's like a very
So you got
stressful.
the full admin adventure.
I got the full experience, I would say. Yeah.
But that's great, yeah, because, that's great. Well, obviously, it was better before, but also you're kind of the living proof that it is doable kind of within a month.
Yeah.
Say, okay, well, you know what, I'll be moving to France, take care of the paperwork and all, like, you made it happen.
Yeah, it was very stressful. And to add on to that, my passport had 6 months left on it at the time. So I also had to get a new passport.
Oh, you had to renew it.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
So I had to drive to London from Birmingham, renew my passport, come back. And then after a week, I went back to London, went to the appointment at the prefecture. They took my new passport, made me sign a document that says, well, if we lose it, it's not our fault. And I was panicking for like a whole week, being like, gosh, like they're gonna lose my passport and I'm not gonna have a passport and I'm not gonna have a visa, so I won't be able to go to Paris and everything. But eventually I did make it a week later than planned, but I'm not going to complain because I'm still here. It's been 4 years.
Well, no, but it did work. Yeah, it did work out great. Well, I don't think we touched base on this yet. Like, you do actually speak French as well. Well, you mentioned it in the intro, but and so, well, back to that cliche Emily in Paris. But as you do speak French, not like Emily in Paris, like she can ramble. But so, what would be some of the inaccuracies you've seen in that show, for example? Because, you know, for those who actually speak French, and in your case, living in Paris, you know, life is probably way different because it's probably easier for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very different because I feel like in the show, a lot of the cultural barrier that she has is kind of through the language that she doesn't speak. And as somebody that works in marketing in Paris for, you know, French clients and also like American clients, like French is so necessary when you work in marketing because otherwise you just can't communicate with the audience that you're trying to sell to. And for me, when I was watching the show, I was kind of like, okay, like that might not make sense. And also, like, I feel like she only speaks French when it's convenient for the plot. Because sometimes she can say, like, whole sentences and, like, whole, like, speeches, you know? And then the next minute she's like, bonjour, un croissant. And it's just, like, a little bit...
Well, un croissant is important for the plot. In Paris. No, it's... Well, you also did learn French. I mean, you were not born speaking French. And so I suppose you've had to go through some embarrassing, like, learning French moments, didn't you?
Yeah, there's been some rough ones. My most embarrassing one was probably quite recently because I work at a French startup. So in a French startup, we use like a lot of anglicisms, like English phrases, and I don't know which English words people use and which English words people don't use. So when people say like, oh my God, like I'll know they'll understand me, and like they'll say like, hello, you know, and kind of things like that. So in our Slack group chat, we kind of have some abbreviations, you know, like BRB, be right back,
oh, really?
OMG, oh my God, and it's very English. So I, being British, I use my normal text language like I thought was normal, and I'd put NVM to mean never mind.
Okay,
and my
I
boss
didn't know
told
this
me
one.
that like, no, like you can never say that, and it means something like really inappropriate. I can't even say it, yeah.
Okay,
And
what would
like,
that mean in French?
I don't want to say it, it's inappropriate.
Okay.
It's like terrible.
Okay, well, you'll have to tell me afterwards. We'll try to put it in a comment or something.
You can bleep it out.
Okay.
It was so embarrassing, and like the CEO of the company saw it and was like, why are you telling people to NVM? And I was like, I didn't mean that, I meant never mind.
Okay, wow, okay. Yeah, well, definitely, yeah, this can happen both ways. Also, there's some words which may not be culturally loaded in one language, but might be in another. Like promiscuity, for example, is kind of usually, I would say, intimate in English. It's not in French. We have the same word. Yeah, I mean, it means close to one another. Like we could say, I went to this restaurant. Well, I'll say it in French. J'ai été à ce restaurant. Il y avait trop de promiscuité. There was too much promiscuity. I could say that. It just means it was packed.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that, because I'd be like, what do you mean?
Yeah, that's not loaded in French. You know, there's no meaning. So, and obviously usually it works the other way around. Like something that's not like excited is not necessarily no connotation in English, but like you don't want to say that in French.
Yeah, the one that confused me was because my French teachers at school would always tell me never to say je suis chaud. Like they would tell me never to say that. It doesn't mean that you're hot, it means something different. But then like I started working, and like people obviously spoke very casual French, and then they'd be like, ouais, je suis chaud de faire ça, and it meant like, oh, like yeah, let's do that, you know. And it was like, can you use that? Or
this one is very subtle because it could be sexualized.
It's very context heavy.
Or say like, you know, I'm done for it.
Yeah.
Or it means indeed like I'm hot.
Yeah, and that was weird. I was like, what do you mean? I was like,
no, the context is very important, and then you know this one is a slippery.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, so I just don't use it. I'm like, I'm not even gonna try because I'm gonna get myself into a weird situation that I don't want to be in. So
well, and then same tip for the audience. Like, it's like excited. It can be used in a non-sexual manner in French, but probably better to avoid it.
Probably avoid.
Yeah, definitely. You do create, I mean, I saw you on TikTok, Instagram, and various platforms, and you create content. That's very original. You create content in English, but also in French. I have to ask this question because do you feel like you're a different person when you speak French, for example?
I never noticed it until people started to point it out to me. Because in English, I feel like I'm I follow the rules of politeness that we have in the UK. So it's always very beat around the bush. I never kind of say what I mean. And I'm kind of like, if I don't like something in English, I'll be like, oh, it's really nice, but like, I don't know, like, I'm not sure, like, I don't like it. Whereas in French, I'll be like, j'aime pas. J'aime pas. C'est horrible. C'est pas terrible.
Right.
So I feel like in French, I'm very like direct about my opinions. And in English, I feel like I'm very like, oh, like maybe, because I don't want to offend people.
We were talking about that right before
Yeah.
we started this. This is something that struck me as well when I was in the UK. People saying it's okay to actually mean it's not okay.
Yeah.
And saying, well, if it's okay,
it's like,
fine.
it's not good.
Yeah. And so that was so foreign for me. And this is exactly that. I mean, if it's not okay, I would say it's not okay in French.
Yeah.
And so
I have to say I prefer the French ways. Because I much prefer, with my boyfriend who's French, if I ask him if he likes my outfit, he'll tell me no if it's bad, which love that.
that's
Thank
good.
God.
Well, let's say it's good. Okay.
Well, if he was a British man would be like, yeah, it's really nice. And then I'd go out, and then in a year's time, I'd look at the photos, and I'd be like, why would you let me go out like that? So I'm more for the directness, I have to say.
You, I think from your content, you also, well, I don't know if you've done it already or in the process of creating a business.
Yeah, I'm
So-
launching a social media marketing agency.
Okay.
It's called Muse Social.
Okay.
I'm really excited. I'm currently in the depths of paperwork. So I had to make like a business plan, and I had to, get all these letters signed from people saying that like, yeah, like we want to work with you and everything. It's so stressful because like I don't even really know what I'm doing.
But so you're in the process of doing that, and you're going through that process. So also, in a way, again, living proof that you can also move to France, well, maybe as a student or a non-worker, and then decide to have, or a worker, and then decide to have a change of career.
Yeah.
So, well, paperwork is going to be involved, but yeah, okay, it's doable.
Also, me being delusional, because I was like, do I want to get a CDI after I finish my master's? I was like, no, I feel like I'll just start a business in a foreign country with no experience. Why not?
Well, that's good. Well, this one, I am a bit biased, but I have to ask. I've seen you created some content about Bordeaux as well, which some people call the small Paris. So, well, can you share? Can I pick up your brain on this
Yes.
one? What did you think about?
I lived in Bordeaux for 2 months. Originally, I was going to be living there for a year to do it, because originally I started my alternance for my master's degree in Bordeaux. So I worked, what's the place called? I worked where that big fountain is, and there's like the buildings around it. It's like the main bit of Bordeaux, I guess.
Oh, what the student goes for?
It's like a big place, and there's a fountain, there's like a lot of government buildings, and there's the Miroir d'eau right in
Oh,
front of it.
yes, right in front.
Yeah.
Well, I have the French, La Bourse and the
Yeah, so
the
I worked
CCI
at
and
La
stuff.
Bourse,
Yeah.
so it was very pretty, and I literally lived right there, and I was there for 2 months.
Well, La Bourse being the trade markets, just for the.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I lived there for 2 months, and honestly, I don't know, Paris missed me. I missed Paris so much that I kind of ended up, leaving that job and finding another job in Paris instead.
What are the main differences you've noticed there?
I found
compared
it
to Paris,
very
yeah.
small, so I found
Small
it quite.
Paris.
It is small Paris, but it was very, very small, because I feel like Paris, you can live here for 4 years like me, and there's still places that I haven't been. But I feel like Bordeaux, I feel like if you had a bike, you could do it all in a day. Maybe.
Oh yeah, no, it's. I don't know exactly the population, but it's probably like 200,000 or 300,000, something like that. I don't know. Well, I have to check it out. But
Yeah.
the like just Paris, in the city of Paris is like 2 million people.
Yeah.
And then like the Great Paris area is like 22 million. So it's like massively bigger.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure there's more than 1 million people in the whole of Bordeaux region, like area. So
Yeah.
it's much smaller. Yeah.
And also, I found that there was a lot of British people there.
Oh, really?
There was a
Funny.
lot. I feel like there was a lot of British pubs right on the front by the river, and I kind of got there and I was like, why is there so many British people everywhere? And I was like, I did not move to France to be surrounded by British people. Love the Brits.
Fair enough. Yeah, no.
But I felt myself speaking less and less French, even though I was living in a French city, and I have no idea why. Like every time I tell that to somebody, they're like, "What do you mean? Like there's no British people in Bordeaux?" I don't know if there's like it's because there's a direct flight or something, or I have no idea. But I just missed Paris, so I decided to. It's not really the city for me. unfortunately.
Well, that's good. Yeah. You. I think the word is graduation. I mean, you're 3 years post graduation. Is that?
2 years.
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also said like, well, Paris keeps calling you, and then you just said it again. Any particular reason you can point out why is Paris calling you? What do you think at least Paris calling you?
People ask me this all the time because I'm so obsessed with Paris. I'm like Paris' biggest fan, I have to say. And like I was just always obsessed with Paris. Like Ratatouille is my favorite movie. You know, like I was just anything to do with Paris and like French. Like I would just want to get my hands on it. When I was 16, I came for the first time, and I said to my mom, I was with her at the time, and I was like, I'm gonna move here in 2 years, and she was like, okay, okay, sure. Like you don't speak French, but like okay. And yeah, I ended up doing it, and I just felt so at home here, like even from the first day. And I know that's not the experience that a lot of people have. A lot of people find it to be really unwelcoming, but I was just like, from day one, I loved it. And I just found people super warm, and like a lot of people say that French people are rude, but I guess like I had a different experience, and I never kind of got that impression. Like, you know, the thing that was difficult for me was that I had to really put myself out there, and like, you know, I had to join all the expat groups and like join all the societies at my university, and, you know, really like make an effort to make friends, which took me about 2 months to find people to go out with.
That's not that much.
Yeah.
How long have you been in Paris total?
4 years.
4 years?
As of yesterday.
So, well, happy anniversary.
Happy 4 years.
Yeah, well, it's not that much because your French is really good.
Thank you.
So also another proof that, I mean, if you, like you were saying, if you put yourself out there, it definitely is doable. And in a way, it shows that, you know, your story is kind of a love at first sight kind of story, which proves it's not only for people; it could be with the city as well.
She's not crazy.
No, but that's great. That's great. There's something I really love doing. I like to call that the quick fire round. So I have one specially for you, if you're up for that.
I would love.
Okay, so well, I don't have glasses, but let's say I'm putting my serious glasses on because it's a serious business. Because you're British, I have to ask this: are you rather a cup of tea kind of girl or a café à la crème?
Tea.
Oh well,
but not English breakfast. Not English breakfast, I have to say.
But okay, we can still see those British genes fighting back.
I like an infusion.
Okay. Let's see for this one. Cheese board or scone with clotted cream?
Scone with cream.
Oh.
Scone with cream.
We need to work out.
I know, it's like my shame in life is that I'll never be French enough to enjoy a cheese board.
Really?
I just can't. I hate it. I'm not a fan of cheese, I have to say.
Well, luckily there's going to be mostly British or Americans looking down. I'm kidding. What's your ultimate Paris experience today? I would say, would you prefer like, you know, well, solo walks, rooftop view, or like just like, you know, going on a market spree?
I feel like I've never actually been to a Paris rooftop that I've had a good time at.
So it's better, just two options.
Yeah, let's cut that one now. I love walking. I'm a walker. You wouldn't believe it because I don't own one single pair of trainers or like sneakers, but I love to walk. Just like walking along the Seine.
And Paris really is very walkable.
Yeah.
Like you could, well, I mean, going from one end to the other is quite a long walk, but it's doable. I mean, yeah.
My favorite is to like go by kind of like where the Seine is, like the Eiffel Tower, and then kind of walk until like Musée d'Orsay, and then carry on through Tuileries. It's so nice. Yeah,
it's so beautiful indeed. Yeah, we did that yesterday actually.
It's funny. Nice, right?
This one is an obvious. What's your arrondissement district in Paris?
The 18th. 18th? I'm hoping to move soon. I've lived everywhere, so I've lived in the 16th, the 10th, the 2nd, the 14th, and now the 18th. It's just, so
and we're in the 16th now.
Yeah. I love the 16th.
Might be easier, that question might be easier for a British person than it is for an American, for example, but did you get to the kiss on the cheeks or still hugs?
See, I'm a hugger because la Bise, I'm not a fan, I have to say, because I don't know the cultural place in where to use it. So I'm like, do we do this side of the cheek or this side of the cheek? It depends where you are in France, and I didn't know that. So the last week I was in the south of France, and I didn't know that la Bise was reversed. So I was kind of like, because I didn't know like where to go with it.
I'll be fair with you. Even us, sometimes we don't know. We're just so
Yeah.
used to it. We just go with the flow. But sometimes, like, okay, well, it's a business meeting. I should shake hand, or it's like, yeah.
Yeah, one time I had a job interview and I did like Bise because I didn't know that you weren't meant to. And it was so embarrassing. I was like, oh, it was
Well, I probably
weird.
liked it.
Yeah,
But
I didn't get the job.
okay. Well, let's play the tourist card here. Hot chocolate in Paris. Are you rather Carette or le Café de Flore?
This is a double answer. Carette has better hot chocolate, but Café de Flore has the best vibes, I have to say.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
A bit of both.
It depends what you're looking for.
Ah, no, you're right. You're right. And the other places, like Carette is, yeah. I mean, reputation is deserved. Let's say this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
sometimes you're disappointed by those places. I actually don't know. Well, it's funny because when you've lived around, I mean, is Carette that popular? I mean, do people know about that? Like you
Like in the UK?
or elsewhere? Yeah, I don't know if it's that known.
I don't know. I feel like everybody knows about Café de Flore because it was like really, it's like a TikTok cafe now, I feel, because like everybody knows about it. But I feel like Carette and Angelina, people kind of don't really know
Yeah.
as much about it.
Pro tip: if you go to Paris, like Angelina or Carette, either of those places, best hot chocolate on the planet.
I love Angelina. It's so girly in there that I just love it. And you can buy takeout. You can buy it in a little glass bottle.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yes, you can take it home. So if you buy it in a little glass bottle from Angelina, the one at Rue de Rivoli, they sell it. And I always take it home with my family if I'm going on
Oh.
the Eurostar.
Well, I wouldn't even thought about that because I'm very cliche. When I go there, I'll always go with the, like the whipped cream and stuff. Looks a bit messy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think about
You've
taking
got
it
to
away.
learn how to do the aesthetic scoop.
That's it.
It's the trick of the trade.
But yeah, so that's why I was like, it wouldn't cross my mind. I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I'll have it there. Okay, so one last trick question. Hopefully not so tricky, but this one is probably the hardest question. Complete the sentence. Okay, the most French thing about me now is...
The attitude.
Hopefully it's a positive thing.
Well, like, British people love to queue. And I'm okay with queuing in the UK. When I have to queue in France, I'm like, c'est pas possible.
And you
if
do
there's
that.
like a queue. Yeah, or the most French thing about me might be that if there's a wait that's longer than 4 minutes for the metro, it's the end of the world. Like, it's the end of the world.
Are you at the slipping some ooh la la phase?
I don't be like, ooh la la, positive. I'm like, oh, ooh la la. Like,
Okay, well, so you're getting there.
negative.
Oh, that's great. Well, Mimi, thank you so much for sharing that very good vibe and experience, your experience with France and Paris with us and the audience. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Before we call it a wrap, if people want to find you or get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Well, you can find me on @MimiFry on like Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, wherever.
Okay, great, sure. TikTok is the busiest, I think.
TikTok is my personal preference.
Okay, good.
Love
Well,
a
now you know.
TikTok. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you again,
Thank
Mimi.
you.
Let's see you soon.